Another day out on the mill site, getting the welding trailer set up, getting ready to start some work Saturday morning here. Also got a chance to look up close on some of the forging work that can be done. Contemplating a custom gate for the front entrance of the house as you enter the main courtyard. So I'm imagining something like with the heart of the gate having a roadrunner and some cactus and maybe a couple clusters of wine grapes and a couple wine glasses maybe toasting the site out here. Cheers. Not sure if we're capturing this well or not, but we got the little stick welder down there tying these little straps on to the ends of the culverts, and then we're gonna attach the rebar onto the straps. Looks like we need to be able to bend this and hold it in place while we do the little tack welding of the strap here. It's not quite getting far enough. The stick's going in there. There we go. Getting the bottom part of that strap attached. Two-man job. Trying to get the first little tack weld to take on this next strap. Kind of see over here we have a little strap here, and of course it goes, we didn't get it all the way welded over here, but we'll get to that. I think we're trying to get the inside started. There we go. Now what we're trying to do here is get that tack welded on the little short piece of rebar there, and then we can bend it and get the tacking of the little strap better, and then we can put a smaller piece of strap underneath and weld it onto it and just keep bending everything where it needs to go. Nope, didn't go too good. We're cutting a little rebar into smaller pieces here to fit some of the crossing. Little pieces will go across here, I believe. You see how we kind of indicated 75 inches here for one of the measurements. And I think some of the other measurements are here somewhere. Getting the first little rebar piece in place. The cut didn't go real good at the angle, so we're kind of angling it, letting it angle to the way the cut was. We tried forging it, heating it up and pounding it to improve the angle to where it should have been cut, but just didn't take too well. So doing the weld first, and then as you can see, we're bending the rod up a little bit, and then gonna weld it over on this side. And again, you can see it's down at an angle. We'll go ahead and bend this up and then try to get everything nicely welded on the other side so we get these bars connecting to the straps we welded earlier. And this will help hold the cattle panel nicely in place, which will then hold the boulders and rocks nicely in place. But first, I think we're going to soften that tip on that one end and then pound it and try to shape it a little bit. Did I break the weld? Wow. Surprised to see that happen. Yep, did break the weld. Now down here we got one of the big support posts here. We're getting welded on a little more firmly now. Initially we just did a quick tack weld just to level it as best we can. Unfortunately, almost everything's a little hair out of square, so we got to do what we can to try to bring this back into square. And we got some ideas, but we'll see first if we can at least get everything assembled, as imperfect as they may be. So back here, we're tying in this across the road behind me. And when we build the other side over here, get a post over there, we'll tie it in. And I'll flip-flop to the other side. And here we are on the other angle. Some good acrobatics. And there's our other post once we get it stood up that we'll be tying into with the bar that goes across. We'll of course be packing in a couple more feet of material on top of this, so we won't be driving over it or anything along those lines. So I mentioned before, things are a little hair out of square, so we're using the hydraulics of the backhoe here and this bucket to try to straighten things out. You can see down here we're measuring with the level, trying to straighten it out. And the way we're gonna hold it in place, well, temporarily, it'll probably be the backhoe bucket holding it. But then we got this little spot here, we'll weld into place too. Not 100% sure how well that'll hold it, depending on the forces working on it. But I know once we tie it into the post here on the other side, it should really strengthen it. And keep in mind, these are going to be holding the guardrails for keeping our vehicles on the road, not falling off. So we went ahead and did the little weld on here. Right along in there, and it looks like it's holding the post in place as we remove the bucket. The post didn't seem to move at all. So hallelujah, we got one little hair out of square problem fixed. Yeah, like I was thinking, we're getting ready to drop these first biggest boulders down into where we welded here earlier. And of course, this is just one section of the downhill side. I mean, we got more build up on this side to do, more over here on the downstream side. Gonna do pretty much the same thing we did here with the cattle panel and the rebar and the posts. Then we still have the whole upstream side we haven't even started yet. But I think we're all kind of learning from this experience, and with the cutting of the angle of the rebar not quite right, in fact kind of way off, found ourselves having to unweld things and re-weld and then unweld to level things and so forth. So bottom line is, I think we'll go faster on the upstream side when we get to it, just because we've had a good learning experience here on dealing with this on the downstream side. Oh boy. Gave some stuff a little bend. I think this needs to be repositioned. So here's the downstream that we welded and got in place with the post and the little cross member going across the road. We did a little clearing on the other upstream side and then stacked a bunch of boulders in place in that middle section, which I'll just hop over to and show in a second. So instead of chopping boulders from above, we kind of stacked them here, and hopefully that'll help hold the bank in place while we do some work in there. That was a little worrisome on the downstream side when we didn't have anything to help hold the bank, and we had people down in there working and stuff. The bank could have easily collapsed on them and caused problems, but this looks a little better. I'm not sure about when it comes to the welding, but we'll find out shortly. Okay, I think I'm finally doing it. It's sunset up at the property, and skies aren't perfect, but it's not bad. I might be able to see something really good when it gets dark. Of course, truck tent set up, not perfect. The instructions are fairly good, except something about the gray. They clearly show where the gray goes, and the little green rods clearly go here. But there's one little set of black rods that are supposed to go across the top of this thing, the north-south direction basically, and I don't see any holes to put them in, anywhere to snap them on, even though the directions seem to indicate there are some. I don't know what's going on, but I can at least make this work for tonight, and then maybe in the morning when I tear it down, I'll find wherever the black little rods are supposed to go and snap into. But nature preserve life here, just saying. Judy's back in Albuquerque, not feeling too good, so I'm on my own here, and I'm gonna meet up with welders, backhoe operator. Probably right after lunch they'll be out here, and we'll hopefully get quite a few more hours of welding done, and maybe more good stuff to show and share here on this channel. Nature preserve life here, checking out. Cheers, wishing you all a good evening, and until we meet again. Thank you for watching an episode of Nature Preserve Life in Mountainair, New Mexico. If you'd like to follow along and support our channel, please press the subscribe button and gong that bell to be notified. After all, it's free. Free is a very good price. In the future, we will plan to focus our episodes on our eco-friendly build of earthen construction and dark night astronomy, that big guy there, and tourism of the regional area, as well as establishing a Patreon account for the sole support of wildlife in Deer Canyon Preserve. So stay tuned. Cheers.